All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural podcast of the Badass Patriot Company. My name is Dan Wiechart. I'm the VP of the Badass Patriot Company. I'm joined by Matt Eldridge, El Presidente of the Badass Patriot Company. And we want to give you a quick flavor as to what exactly we're all about. But to begin that off, let's talk about a little bit of background on who we are. So Matt, lead us. Who are you?
I'm Matt Eldridge. I'm a family man, Christian, and I'm a huge patriot. Anyone who knows me knows, I bleed red, white, and blue.
Copy that.
Okay, but a little bit about my background. Been an entrepreneur for years. Been a successful entrepreneur for 13 years. So when I say entrepreneur for years, some not successful, some successful.
That's how it goes.
But I've been a successful entrepreneur for 13 years. I was in corporate America for a number of years as well. Worked for some big Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. But really excited about opening up this company and what it stands on and what we're trying to do for the community within the unity line underneath the patriotism.
Copy that. Well, hang on to that unity line. We'll jump back to that. A little bit about me as well. I have a background in law enforcement, political science, and the intelligence community. Did all that for a number of years. Got out of that. Jumped into being an entrepreneur as well. Started out as independent contracting, and then branched out from there into being co-owner of the Badass Patriot Company, along with several other companies as well. And like Matt, I'm a family man. I'm a God-fearing man, and I am a patriot as well, a badass patriot, you might say.
You're a badass patriot.
Correct.
That's what you
are. And Matt already alluded to it. One of the key things that we wanted to do as we're starting this brand, because we are starting out with apparel and clothing, cool hats, cool shirts, which you can pick up at badasspatriotsco.com. Feel free to check that out in the link. Drive us a like and a subscription if you haven't already. But one of the chief aims is this idea of unity. And so I'll jump it back to Matt. Talk to us about the unity aspect. What are we trying to do with that?
Well, when we opened up this company, we first came up with this company, 5-6 months ago?
Something like that, yeah.
And we've been working really hard developing this company line. One of the challenges that we were seeing, because we're seeing a lot of people in the corporate realm, a lot of people that are just employed being the cancel culture that's going on, people being silenced, not being able to speak.
And that's, if I jump in, silence left and right, correct?
100%.
Seen that on both sides. Carry on.
Yeah. People are getting silenced.
Oh, yeah.
And as we're coming together, I know when we approached you and your wife, and listen, I've known his wife for almost 20 years. His wife introduced my wife to me in college. So we go way back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when we brought this idea up to you guys, see if you guys would partner up with us, one of my concerns out there is like, listen, we want to go underneath the patriotism word. However, patriot in society today, the cancel culture, in our opinion, this is according to Matt Eldridge opinion, is that a lot of people are putting that term patriot almost like a terrorist word, almost like a bad word out there. But the reality is, our Democrat neighbor is not our enemy.
No, sir.
Okay, we've got a common enemy, and it's not our neighbor. Okay, it's not the person down the street. Okay, we've got a lot more in common than not, and we want to go. We know what our base is. Listen, I'm a conservative. Okay, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Okay,
definitely a conservative.
But definitely a conservative who loves this country. Because listen, there's bad on both sides, and I think we can all agree on that. And we want to. I like to think that this country in general wants a better life for their children. Wants a better life for their family, wants the next generation to have it better than they do. Unfortunately, you see polls, people don't believe that the next generation is going to have a better life than they do. Okay, and we needed a platform to speak from. So I don't even know if I'm going on the actual question or not.
No, you're right on line, man.
But you're talking about the unity piece. I believe that was the question, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was the unity piece. We want to be unified as a country, unified as Americans, unified under the term badass patriot. In the beginning, your wife couldn't even say the word badass.
It's a term of endearment.
It's a good word.
Have you ever insulted somebody by calling them a badass? No, you haven't. No, you haven't. It's
no,
always
being
an
called a
endearing
badass
thing.
is an enduring thing. Yeah,
100%.
people are like, dude, that's badass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, you're being a badass right now. You're taking charge. You're leading from the front. Okay, you're not being scared of anyone, or even if you do feel that fear, you're gonna fight it in the face of fear. That's being a badass. And that's what we want to create. We want to create a bunch of badass Americans out there, a bunch of badass patriots that love their country. And it doesn't mean other countries are bad. It just means that we love our country and we're proud of our country, and it's a good thing to be proud of the country. So we started initially an apparel line.
Correct.
Okay, so people can get,
Cool merch.
cool merch, hats, shirts, whatever.
And if I may, like
Please.
the idea with the unity part is when we started with the apparel line because our goal is if you're walking down the street and you see somebody rocking a BAP shirt, you can kind of see the star.
BAP for Badass Patriot.
Right, you can see the star in here.
Right.
That's our main symbol, the one on Matt says America.
Yep.
You see that star, hey, look, man, this is a guy left, right, center. This is going to be a guy or gal that I can have a conversation with, and whether or not we agree or disagree at the end of the day, we both know we still love our country. We're proud to be here. We're proud, and we're thankful for the blessings that this country has given us.
And we're thankful for the truth. Okay, guys, we've got a lot more in common than not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
When I say guys, I guess guys, girls, hate to be politically correct on this initial podcast, but, I say Americans, like, listen, we got a lot more in common than we have different. Okay? There's a lot of people trying to divide us. Okay? So we started this line. Yes, it's not just an apparel line, but this is a brand, and you're going to see a lot more coming out. We're sponsoring a movie premiere coming up, or movie that's getting launched out. We'll be at a
more
movie
to
premiere.
come on that. Please check out our social media pieces. We'll have some more
Flying
information.
out to Hollywood. What, 2 weeks? We're gonna go see a movie premiere.
Heading out to LA.
You'll get more information coming out on that. We'll be launching out a bunch of different other companies as well. A fitness company that's going to be launching out with subscription-based fitness stuff. We're going to have.
Talk to us about the podcast.
I'll talk about. I'm not going to open up all the other lines that we're going to be, but there's some pretty
Podcast
awesome
is here.
lines
You're
coming
here
up.
for the podcast.
I was about to say something. You just stopped me.
I got you.
I don't want to say that part yet. Two to come. But we also, yes, we have podcasts coming out. This is not just the, Matt and Dan podcast. Okay. We're going to have some funny podcasts. We're going to have some podcasts about the country. We're going to have some podcasts about, political stuff that's going on, just so people are educated. But a lot of it's going to be an educational podcast. We want to make sure people are educated that are out there. Left, right, center. We want to make sure people are educated. What's actually going on and how we can, be better Americans.
Gonna have some homesteading in there.
We're going to have some homesteading in there.
And that's not we're not just trying to create hermits in the woods either. Part of the educational part that we're trying to create is, we're going to teach you how to be self-sufficient in your physical aspect, where you're growing food, raising animals, building your own houses, things like that. But we also want to teach you how to be financially independent in the modern world, where we're all about people being entrepreneurs, owning up their own businesses, owning what they do for a living, signing their own paychecks, because that, for the most part, kind of gets you to be cancel-proof.
Well, 100%. We want people to have ownership outside of a job. I'm not down on jobs. I think jobs are great. Okay. However, just as Dan alluded to, we want you to be able to write your own paycheck. Okay. So we are going to have podcasts on that, so people can so many people come up to my wife and I, just with our background, that they're like, listen, how'd you guys get started? What can I do differently? We were down in Florida, and I should say, normally I'm not this tan. I was in Mexico, then I was in Florida, and then we extended our trips. I just came back literally last night.
That 50% Mexican came out of you
By
a little
50% Mexican. Yes, I am Mexican, and I'm proud of it. I'm
a Mexican, not a Mexican.
I'm a Mexican, not a Mexican, and I'm an American. But yes, my Mexican, side's coming out. But we can travel because we can. Okay, and we ran across a couple that we hadn't seen in years, and they're asking about what's going on, what's happening in your life, and we're telling them about everything that's going on, and how exciting everything else is. Like, listen, Matt, when are you going to teach me how to do this? When can you teach us how to have something like that? Like, we want that. Teach us. And that's what we're talking about. Like, listen, we are going to have a podcast about helping people have companies. Okay, making sure you can have something outside of what you do full time, and the importance of having multiple streams. Okay, but also the importance of getting your mind right.
Copy that. But that's just one, the podcasting component, the apparel component, two of many things that we're going to open up. Because at the end of the day, we want Badass Patriot not to just be those two things, but to be a brand that you're going to recognize as you're out and about. And Matt, unless you have anything else to add, I think that'll wrap us up and we can close this out.
We're excited, guys. Yeah, and we're looking forward to you guys being with us and joining us as Badass Patriots.
Copy that. And like I said, thank you guys for joining us on this inaugural podcast. Again, it's Badass Patriot Company. You can find us on BadassPatriotCo.com. Of course, like and subscribe this video. If you're on YouTube, of course, hit the wrong